Hey everyone, and welcome back to another video. So in the last video, we talked about my top 10 favorite songs of 2022. So obviously today, we're going to talk about my top 10 least favorite K-pop songs of the year. As many of you know, I also did a rendition of this video for the halfway mark of 2022, and to avoid repeating myself, none of the songs that appeared there are going to appear again here. So this is kind of like a two-part series. And if you want to watch part 1, the link will be in the description box down below. Last thing before we start, I'd like to remind you all to follow me on Instagram, link will be in the pinned comment. And without further ado, let's talk about my 10th least favorite K-pop song of the year. Coming in at number 10 is a song that I don't completely hate, but I definitely don't enjoy it, and that song is Hello by Treasure. Hello is a song that definitely feels like it fits in with Treasure's discography, having a chorus that heavily relies on the instrumental to carry the melody, and the members singing the one-liners hello, 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 and where you been all my life. In its structure, Hello is very reminiscent of songs like Boy or I Love You. But Hello has its own fun little twist, because it falls under that category of fun, bright, wholesome EDM, kind of sounding similar to artists like Owl City, who, if you don't know, made songs like Good Time and When Can I See You Again from Wreck-It Ralph.
When can we do this again? Oh, good time. Where you been all my life?
Though making music under this genre isn't inherently a bad thing, because music like this was popular in my life around like a decade ago, Hello feels a little bit outdated. I just really don't see myself listening to songs like this in the year of 2022, so I don't particularly find myself enjoying Hello. I also feel like throughout the track there are a lot of moments that feel a little bit vocally weak, which is strange because I know Treasure is a very vocally strong group, but some instances of the hello, hello, hello line sound like they weren't executed very well. Although that's just my own personal opinion. I think if Treasure wanted to do another Bright concept, they easily could have done something similar to one of the already amazing Bright songs under their catalog, such as Going Crazy or My Treasure, but instead they went with a sound that I don't think appeals to the international nor the domestic market, which leaves me putting the song at number 10 on my list of least favorites. Number 9 is No Thanks by Hyolyn, which is a comeback that really disappointed me. Following Queendom, where I feel like Hyolyn got a lot of mainstream attention from the international audience, when I heard that Hyolyn was going to have a summer-themed comeback, my expectations were set very high. Being a former member of the group Sistar, who were known as the Summer Queens, I thought Hyolyn was going to do something similar to the sound of her past group, something very upbeat and vocal-heavy, with a melody that could get stuck in your head for years. But instead we got a track with an anti-drop chorus, with a huge amount of lines that are either spoken or accompanied with very unimpressive vocals. No Thanks feels like a filler B-side song off some random girl crush album from 2019. And if it wasn't for the music video, I would have no idea that this song is even supposed to be a summer concept. Sadly, I feel like No Thanks is just painfully bland and kind of boring. With the spoken first half of the chorus and an uninteresting melody in the second half, not only does No Thanks not have any of the magic of Sistar's title tracks, but it also pales in comparison to most of Hyolyn's other solos too. With songs of hers like CC and Bae, I feel like I really got to know Hyolyn as an artist, but No Thanks doesn't really feel like it has a sense of identity, and is just very meh. Unfortunately, leaving it at number 9. Coming in at number 8, we have Yet to Come by BTS. And I think my dislike for this song mainly comes from the fact that I'm not part of the audience that it's marketed towards. Obviously, Yet to Come is supposed to be a very sentimental and warm song dedicated to BTS's fans, and I'm sure for those who have BTS as a core factor within their life, Yet to Come is a song that is very emotional for them. But for me, someone who doesn't really rely on K-pop emotionally, Yet to Come kind of lacks that oomph that I expect from a song that's supposed to be so jam-packed full of feelings. I think of other K-pop artists who do music similar to this, like Taeyeon, or even non-K-pop artists such as SZA, and can't help but feel like Yet to Come doesn't really compare to these artists' discographies. In my opinion, for a song like this to really be excellent, you shouldn't have to have the full context of an artist's 10-year-long career. And without knowing the background behind it, Yet to Come feels very gray in its mood. It doesn't feel inspiring on its own. And though it's not an unpleasant song, it's definitely something that I could listen to once and then easily forget like 2 minutes later. So for all of these reasons, I have Yet to Come at number 8. Holding the number 7 spot, we have Vision by Dreamcatcher, a song that I personally view to be one of the group's weakest title tracks. Now, in contrast to a lot of the other songs on this list, I actually do really enjoy Vision's chorus. I think the chorus of Vision is one of Dreamcatcher's that most fit within the rock genre, which is at this point their core sound. However, the problems that I have with Vision lie in the other parts of the track. For one, I was pretty disappointed by Dami's rap verse. The delivery is fine, but I feel like the writing is really awkward and doesn't make sense. For the first line, she's just repeating the words turning over page 3 times in a row, and then later her line is victim, big pain, deep gray, find you like Jackie Chan, quickly, swiftly. I don't know, it might just be me, but I'm not understanding the rhyme or the meaning behind these words. And that's how I feel about most of the verses as well. Either from the writing or the melody, I feel like I can't latch on to anything that they're saying or singing, so there aren't many parts that I find myself enjoying. To me, Vision feels very clunky and disjointed, so I had to put it at number 7. The next song up is Selfish by Yua from Oh My Girl, which is here because it's literally the most repetitive K-pop song of 2022. The song begins with the first chorus, and the chorus consists of Yua saying, I want you babe, I want you, 10 times in a row. And throughout the 3.5 minute runtime of this song, she says that I want you babe, I want you line almost 40 times. So what could have been a very catchy and fun melody, by the end of Selfish turns into an almost irritating and annoying line. Of course, I can definitely enjoy a repetitive song every now and then, but saying the same thing around 40 times in one song is way too much for me. It doesn't help that a lot of the other parts of this song are repetitive too, like the bridge, for example, is split into 2 parts, where in the first part she says zum 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 6 times in a row, and the bridge's second half does that thing where they just repeat the melody from the pre-chorus and then use different lyrics. So I have a bit of a problem with the lack of creativity in Selfish. When you combine all of the factors of the main melody of the chorus being 7 syllables long and the fact that they repeat it almost 40 times, combine that with the bridge being utterly boring, and also the verses having the exact same melody both times, when you put together all of these facts, you realize that Selfish is lazy in its composition and writing, meaning that there is very little effort put into Selfish to make it feel special. Part of me wants to say that it's just a fun, simple pop song and I should let it slide, but the side of me that's more critical realizes that simple doesn't have to be lazy, and Selfish is kind of the definition of lazy, which is why I put it at number 6.
Go. We more till we fresh. Gotta go, gotta go, gotta go.
Next up at number 5, we have We Fresh by Kepler. And I didn't like We Fresh because it was so close to being a powerful pop rock song with a super good pre-chorus that checks off all the right boxes, but goes more so the EDM route in its chorus, with what I felt to be a really random change to electronic sounding instrumentals. So there's this sort of conflict between 2 different sounds in We Fresh that I can't ignore. Even the mood of the track goes from this very serious and hardcore sound in the pre-chorus and intro, but the chorus almost sounds cutesy in a way, with lines like gotta go, gotta go, gotta go, and the whole ta-ta-ta thing they have going on. We Fresh seems like somebody took 2 songs that don't really go together and tried to make a mashup, and a pretty unsuccessful one at that, sadly, leaving it at number 5. Number 4 is Ilela by Mamamoo. To get right into what I don't like about Ilela, to me, the chorus doesn't feel like a chorus. The chorus kind of seems like it's trying to build up to something, really raising the tension throughout it, and the first time I listened to Ilela, because I thought that the tension was gonna snap at some point, I thought the chorus was the pre-chorus. But then once it's over, we transition to this low tension post-chorus that feels like a moment for the members to cool down, leaving me with a very unsatisfied feeling, because throughout basically the entirety of Ilela, there's never a moment to release that tension. Almost every moment feels like we're building up to this big break, but it never happens. So I'm always left wanting more. Interestingly enough, Ilela is only 2 minutes and 46 seconds in runtime, so it annoys me because I felt like there was so much opportunity for the composers and producers to add that conclusion that I feel like Ilela needs. But they didn't, and because of that, even despite the really powerful vocals, Ilela feels weak, leaving it at number 4. At number 3, we have Forever One by Girls' Generation, that, for lack of a better word, I have to call boring. My feelings on Forever One are pretty similar on how I feel about Yet to Come, essentially boiling down to if you haven't been a fan of this group for years on end, then you're not going to get the full experience of this track. To be blatant, I'm not a big fan of tracks that rely on the nostalgia factor, because a lot of the time that nostalgia will make people like a song that they wouldn't like otherwise. And in my opinion, when you take away the emotional context behind Forever One, it doesn't have much charm. The melodies don't stay in your head very well, the vocals aren't very powerful even though Girls' Generation is an obviously vocal heavy group, and there are some pretty noticeable awkward moments like the transition between the pre-chorus and the chorus, or the bridge, which I also don't think really works. I understand why people like Forever One, and I have nothing against you if you do, but personally I don't, and that's why I have it at number 3.
Why do I keep getting attracted? 자석같이 끌려가.
Coming in at number 2, we have Case 143 by Stray Kids. Being their second Korean comeback this year after their amazing title track Maniac in March, I view Case 143 as a sort of downgraded version of Maniac. Both doing the thing where they sing the chorus an octave down in the first half and an octave up in the second half. I was really able to get into Maniac because of the serious and eerie mood of the song. But Case 143 feels very cheesy, with them singing about love and not being able to control their love. A lot of parts of Case 143 feel very cartoonish and fun, but some parts are just a little bit too much where I feel like I can't get into it. There are lines like, "Can I be your boyfriend?" and there's a part where they spell out the alphabet, and those lines are just a little bit too cheesy to the point where I can't find myself unironically enjoying it. Usually lyrics can't make me dislike a song, but Case 143 is a really extreme case, and there's just a part of me that can't ignore the words when I hear it. I actually think the instrumental can be pretty cool at some points, but I have a lot of problems with the lyricism to the point where I would put this song at number 2. And now it's time to talk about my all-time least favorite K-pop song of the year, which is
다들 손을 줘. 아마도 봐.
ending off this list at number 1, we have Future Perfect, Pass the Mic by ENHYPEN. Probably not a song that many of you are surprised to see at number 1, and at this point, what is there to say about Future Perfect that hasn't been said by a million people on the internet already? To start off with the most obvious, I really do not enjoy the heavy use of autotune. I mean, it's so heavy to the point where the lyrics almost sound incomprehensible. I also think the chorus is super messy, but the worst part is probably the post-chorus. With the lines, "walk the line," "I hate that line," and so on, every part of the post-chorus feels so unpleasant to the ears where I feel like I'm just waiting for it to be over. But honestly, I'm not even gonna go too deep into Pass the Mic, because this is just a song where I'm never gonna get it. I feel like with number 10 through number 2, there's a chance that in the future I'll end up changing my mind and like the song. But with Pass the Mic, because of my own personal preference, I can basically guarantee that I'm never gonna come around on it. I simply don't like this genre, and probably never will. I don't think most K-pop stans do either, and because of my own personal taste, Future Perfect is my least favorite K-pop song of 2022. And that concludes this video. Thank you all so much for watching, and I hope you enjoyed. If you did enjoy, make sure to leave a like, and maybe even consider subscribing if you're not already. And in the comment section, let me know what your least favorite comeback of the year was there. As always, I'd like to thank OPJin Itzy, Woo Twice Tees, Doug, Zeus112, Jackie, Xavier H, Soda Scribbles, Shiny, Mizu Monorovier, Cassie, Gav, Achilles Cafe, Ale, Che, 97th Heaven, Frosty Plays, Julian Zalazar, Alpha Fox, Edgy Does Things, Namjoon's Last AirPods, Kaylin Caster, Flo099, Woo Youngie, Mail T, Kieran Johnston, Sunmi Shine, Julia, Stay22, Damien J, Lennon, and Adifa N, Just Softness, JYP Jisungi, Sanarinth, and Jed for being channel members. Thank you all so much for supporting the channel, and without further ado, I'll see everybody watching at the next video. Thanks for watching. Peace out.